Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 4, Episode 7 of the PSR podcast. Uh, I'm Tucker, and with me are the other usual hosts, Iron
Hello.
and Headbob.
Hello, hello.
Kind of a quicker turnaround from last month, so kind of have less content to talk about this week, and we also don't have a focus topic or a guest either, so it's just us today, and it should be a pretty quick one. But yeah, without further ado, get into sort of the cool things that have been happening recently. We have two tournaments going on. We have the usual Red Glitchless No IT tournament, which is currently in pretty much the end of round 1. Round 2 should be starting soon. It is a new format for the tournament. If you're familiar with Swiss, it's kind of like that, but it's also got kind of this factor where you want to like keep winning so that you can keep stacking points. It's pretty cool. I looked at it, but if you're curious how that works, then you can check out the Red Tourney. It's been linked already. There's a lot of runners. There's also a lot of new runners, and all the people that have improved in Red in the past year or so are pretty much in the tournament, so it should be a pretty good one. Pretty much good races every matchup.
Yeah, absolutely huge showing this month, this year. Lots of people. Yeah, the new style is kind of reminiscent of the Let's Go tournament. The format beforehand was a lot different. It involved set pots based on either a player's PB or a set of qualifiers before the tournament. So they're changing it up a little bit. They're just kind of trying stuff to see what sticks. And if they like it, they'll do something similar next year as well, probably.
I forgot to mention that one of the main benefits of the new format is that every racer gets to race like at least more than 2 rounds. I think it's like 4 rounds, maybe 5. So yeah, that usually you don't get to see a bunch of racers after like round 2 because they just like lose and then they're out. But with this format, they get to play it out. So yeah, cool to see. The other tournament is Purple Soul Silver Manipless Glitchless tournament. This was organized by French organizers, French runners that have been playing. This tournament is streamed on Hoka RNG and Charlie Ayla's channel. This is like a man. Yes. So there is also a Discord linked. But yeah, it's currently I think also in like around the round 1, maybe round 2 stage. So I think it's round 2 actually. So yeah. Well, those are also good races happening so far. I've caught a glimpse of a few of them and seem to be pretty entertaining so far. And of course, a lot of contenders. Good race category. Yeah, so that's pretty much it we have going on, and we'll move on to the noted runs.
All right. I can talk about this one. So this is Alwo. This happened, I think, just yesterday, right? Or a couple days ago, maybe. Alwo finally getting the sub 150 in Pokemon Sapphire any percent. This is with the Trico route that Blue Magma came in last month with. And it actually seemed like this run was a lot better than a 149.55 before he lost 20 seconds or so in Phoebe by missing a very important range. Which is kind of crazy because, like, not a month, 2 months ago, this record was very much far from this. So it's is kind of crazy to see how far this category has come in such a short time. Yeah, and
Yeah,
so we talked about the route last time, but basically just like, you know, Trico has a much easier time fighting Roxanne without fighting any optionals or minimal optionals.
Mhm.
And so that's like kind of the main idea why they switch to it. Yeah, I think also maybe it might be no. I think that's all. But yeah.
From what I can tell in this run, I think I will get first tries on um this minute with the red candy that you have to wait about 7 to 8 seconds for.
Oh yes.
I'm guessing that he probably missed a minute. I should have probably checked for that because he did worse than Blue Magma, who also got second try minute. Or maybe not. There's a lot of things that could happen. I should have checked, but not a great start, regardless. And he does get the whole tentacle chain minute first try as well. And yeah, pretty much the major time loss was Glacia, as Headbob said. So if you imagine like this one got that, you probably save around 20 seconds, and then it's like a 149 3x, which is actually a pretty decent time.
Yeah.
Once you get there. I know 148 is possible. Pretty much just need that and then the good start as well. And I probably imagine that happens like relatively soon.
Yeah, I think Alwa's definitely got the drive for it. Seems like he really likes this category.
Yeah, it does look entertaining. Definitely takes away a lot of the stress of Sapphire
Yeah,
if you played glitchless.
for sure.
Yeah. That's all we have for Gen 1 to 3.
All right, this is Corolio's Ultra Moon new 3DS run in JPN. This is first place. And I don't know much about this run. Um, yeah, it's the first time uh, a Japanese runner has really touched Gen 7 in a pretty long time. Not many people like run Gen 7 at all. But it seems like this was a record by quite a bit, at least on the leaderboards. This is only the second run, and it was the previous first place was 639. Although Ringo is probably somewhere else in the mix as well. I couldn't tell you where that is since he has since removed all of his runs. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see, Ultra Moon because it doesn't really get a lot of love. Um, yeah, I wish I knew more about this run.
Yeah, it looks like a 543 in English timing, but not accounting for like text, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how good that is.
Yeah, I think 543 is okay. A new 3DS, you probably want to be getting a little bit better than that. It's about 10 minutes off the English record. I imagine JPN saves like a small amount of time in character difference, if anything at all. But yeah, I think the bulk of it is probably just Corellia probably didn't do a ton of runs. This was a 12-minute PB for him, so although that is kind of just how Ultramoon is. You kind of just like get a large PB and get a good run because there's a lot of things that need to go your way. So I mean, yeah, that doesn't really mean a lot that this was like a extremely large PB.
Maybe one day we'll get a pretty comparable Japanese one, but this is a step in the right direction.
One of the if you're unfamiliar, one of the largest swings in this run is the ultra wormholes around 4.5 hours in. Or where is it in this run? This run it's more closer to 4 hours 45 minutes. And that's like heavily RNG. So I don't know how good those are. So basically you need to go in and find the ultra wormhole, the white wormhole, which can take anywhere from 15 seconds to 5 minutes, 6 minutes. And there's really no trick to it besides, being able to consistently avoid wormholes that you're not looking for, which can kind of be an issue sometimes.
I think if you skip like 6.5 minutes, and we can see.
Yeah. Where is it? Yeah, maybe 450. Yeah, 450 on the nose. Yeah.
Well, if it's good, then we'll see. Or we were there already.
That's
it's
pretty
like,
good.
Yeah.
It seems like it's around 40 seconds, which is pretty good.
Yeah, first try is always what you want.
Yeah, if you're on a run where if you go into a different wormhole, come back out, that's really bad. Yeah, Ultraman also has some of the hardest fights in PSR. Pretty much all in a row. You kind of expect to die at least once somewhere. My world record misses the high jump kick on one of the fights and has to die. And a hidden optional. So there's a ton of variants in this category. And so it's not exactly something that's fun to grind, I think. But it's really cool to see people just like giving it a try on the Japanese side because again there wasn't really many runs at all on that board.
Right. And Caroli was a very capable switch runner.
Yes.
He's done a lot of Sword Shield and Scarlet Violet. And to see him branch off to do 3DS runs, I didn't even know he had a 3DS. So maybe he'll do other things. Probably that's the more exciting part.
This is true. So yeah, I think it's all for this run. And then this is Etchy's new Let's Go Pikachu English any % world record, 257.20. This was done maybe a week ago. And it was for Etchy's GDQ submission, actually. He just got this on a whim while doing it. Mostly as a result of the new trainer skips that he found that save a decent bit of time. It was record by 5 seconds. Obviously, since he was doing a marathon strat, whatever, he was playing safely, I imagine, in a lot of places. What is this?
I'm not sure what this long pause is. Maybe he's... I don't even know what could be happening. Setting up his controller.
Yeah, it could be switching over to the because you use a special Joy-Con for that.
Right. Okay. I guess he doesn't play the run up to here with the controller. That
no, apparently they're really bad controllers otherwise.
Okay. Yeah. I can imagine because it's notched everywhere probably.
Yeah.
Which might not be the greatest.
So if you're unfamiliar with this category, basically what's happening right now is he's using very precise movement. We're using the trainer vision and Let's Go to just pass by them every single trainer Victor rode, which saves around 3 minutes overall. The difference might be more or less depending on how much these specific skips save because they're kind of new. But
And I don't think that's an exaggeration either. I think he literally skips every trainer now in
yeah,
Road.
yeah. Which before it was before it was just Douglas, and then there was setups for most of them, and then but then that involved getting like Aerodactyl, which is kind of slow, and so there's been a lot of developments in the last couple of years in this category.
I think mainly Etchy and then Sandy.
Yes.
Nothing to find those. So credit goes to them. Sorry if I don't know if anybody else was also working on that, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it was mainly those two.
Yeah.
Anything else
So
to
far,
say?
I think it's still just Etchy that has like done skips in Let's Go.
Yeah, I think
Intentionally, that is, because you can get them by accident. But...
intentionally.
True. Thanks to Cruel.
Yes, I think that's right.
Like, I think I had an AOP PB that got 1. I got Dawson. But the boards were mixed anyway for AOP.
Yeah. There's been a few runners of like for when the route for a while was just like skipping those trainers like Dawson. But new route is definitely just Etchy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I know, the controllers are like actually very difficult to find now. I think I haven't checked in a little while, but a couple months ago, I was like looking into it. Like there's a link that was posted on the Joy-Cons, and they're just not sold anymore. So I don't know if anyone's found another place to get them. But
That's not good.
yeah, it's like this weird third-party controller, so it's you buy on Amazon or something. So it's like really difficult to like sometimes they're just not sold at a certain point.
So interesting. It's like equipping and unequipping Starmie and like adjusts you an amount that you need. That's kind of crazy.
And I think in E4 pretty much just 2C on the last 3 fights.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Lance and Champ, kind of have to. Especially from
Zero
range, like you're not getting past that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think if you miss Dawson experience by itself, like you're okay. But if you miss any more than that, then you really have an issue. Well, no, actually, I mean, Dawson misses 53, so I don't know. That's how it was always pitched to me.
I'm curious just how many levels you don't have.
Probably just like
It's probably just 1, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe like 1.5, if anything.
Oh yeah,
Where are we?
It's like about half.
I think you're normally 51 for Lorelei. But...
Which then it would really just be like Dragonite range, pretty much, in that case.
Yeah.
You can just go to +6 here, and yeah.
Yeah, not much changes outside of D-Knight, but since you're 2-seeing 4 Lance and you have to, then it's worth it to 2-see the other 2 fights.
Yes.
Which is how that works with Lapras Strat.
Yeah, actually isn't that bad at all.
I guess a big part of it is the Lapras feigning on Champ again, but I don't think that happens in this run.
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. It would save a lot of time, like about 15 seconds. When that happens.
Yeah, I think in Pika specifically, which I think is that what he's on?
Yeah.
Um,
Spiga.
yeah, I think you don't want Lapras to faint on Champ. You couldn't do it anyways if you wanted to.
Oh, okay. I see. Is it for, like, Jolteon?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Need Ice Shard for that, too. Well,
At +4, you're usually hydro pumping it.
I think he's just +6 here. So, yeah.
Catch root seems pretty standard. I mean, doesn't have inner end mail. Has Venonat. Pretty normal, pretty standard otherwise.
I would agree.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
I feel like the way you play for like, well, obviously the bulk of Let's Go runs is like the catches, right? Like there isn't much safety to be had in those. It's just like kind of the fights you play a little safer for like marathon setting. So I think the times end up being like fairly similar already, and then also by this point he probably was like, oh, maybe I should just go for a record. On top of that, so I mean, yeah, I feel like he didn't have to make a decision about any of this stuff until very late. Obviously, his splits are still NMS here, so
Yeah. It's a little bit off-putting that he's using no skip splits, but yeah. And he was comparing against not his, well, he was comparing against his no skips PB.
Mhm.
I don't know if he intended to submit a no skips run. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I still don't know what he actually submitted
I don't know
to
what he
do.
intended to do when he started this one, but yeah.
I feel like it must have been NMS, right? Maybe not.
Not sure. Really don't know. Because, like, on one hand, he's really familiar with no skips, but also he hasn't done a run with all the skips yet, so either are like probably true. Weird.
And regarding that delay when he was set up his Joy-Cons, he did say he lost 6 seconds to the Joy-Cons, so that might be why
Okay,
he was
okay.
why he was waiting a little longer there.
Not intentional for the setups. Got it. Okay, yeah, he definitely says in his tweet that the run pivoted to any percent, so ignore the timings. So I think he definitely had NMS in mind when starting this run. So
I thought it seemed like a pretty decent run after Geo. I don't, not sure what that would be about.
yeah, I forget what you actually have to decide. Obviously, it would have been way earlier in the old route because you have to go get Aerodactyl, which is like a very slow thing to get. But now you just don't. So I don't. Maybe you don't need to decide at all until you do the skips.
Would
Yeah,
it be
I don't know.
like a candy, maybe? The EXP is off, but I don't know. It seems like you can just pivot after Geo, but it's kind of weird that he did do that because I think maybe he could have risked stuff for world record. with that pace.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like getting even just like sub 3 in like a marathon submission video for GDQ would be kind of hard, you know?
Hmm.
Cause like no one can do that besides Etchy, I feel like right now. So that would really be crazy.
Yeah, this run doesn't really show off the time that you can get with all the skips, but yeah, I imagine it's like 2:55 is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Okay. Congrats to Etchy on that one. And next we have a shield run.
So this is Yuki. It was like pretty much done the day of the last podcast actually. Third place on Shield, any percent no turbo in English. It's a 409.06. And it's actually on Candy Floss, so this is, you know, technically the Shield any percent no turbo Candy Floss record on English. He has a time with turbo he has like a 408.59, I think, on Candy Floss. It's a little bit better, but the reason why I'm specifying this is because Candy Floss actually has quite a bit of a worse time on Shield. Alistair is actually a good place to skip to. That fight is a pretty long setup compared to the BF fight. Same thing with Melanie, and I think Alistair too as well. All three of the fights are notably more. Or no, Melanie's like kind of easier actually, I think. But yeah, like definitely Alistair and Alistair too are notably longer setups. Since you have to set up for Hurricane instead of you can just like moonblast things, so it's got to do an X accuracy too, and you know, same amount of setup because it's not stab. So yeah, it's not great. So this is a really good time. Almost a 408. I think Arcadrill is sizably better on Shield than Candy Floss, but obviously the consistency of Candy Floss is extremely appealing. Not a lot of consistency in that Drillbur catch. So yeah, Shield has this Mimikyu as well, so you lose a turn to every single one. And then also on Shield, if you're a physical attacker, you lose a turn on Melanie as well to the Ice Q's ability, Ice Face. Not relevant in this case, obviously, but yeah, Shield is just by default slower, I guess. And then if there's a main that can make it faster, like Arcanine does a pretty good job with early to mid game stuff, then you'll just use that instead. But yeah. But this run specifically, I don't actually know, you know, how good this run is. 59.37, Milo's pretty solid on Shield. One of the better ones I've seen, I think. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I wonder if he, yeah, that split with a caught Minchino as well is very, very good. Which I imagine it is. Like the whole bit with you could technically get a Minchino after Milo on the grass, and it is like faster, but the catch is really bad, so I imagine that's not what he did. Where's Yeah, definitely Minchino early. Wow. Yeah, 59:37 is a very good time.
What's like the amount of time difference between like sword candy floss and like shield candy floss?
Good question.
I'm guessing like a minute, maybe.
I think that's probably, I don't know. That might be a little bit more than that, honestly. Um, Let me check. I'm gonna check just the Alistair and B split as a baseline. Uh, Both the Japanese runners, it seems like they just like to split the gyms, and not anything in between. Obviously, the player base of Candy Floss is mostly Japanese. Pretty much all Japanese runners run Candy Floss who run this game, with some exceptions, obviously.
Mhm.
Sorry, I would turn my volume off, and I thought you guys were done. Sorry for abruptly switching
That's all
Um,
right.
to the next run.
25.
I think I've been seeing Peugeot do shield with the Arcadil route, so
Yeah.
there's a
Um,
could see
it
that
seems
happen.
like the difference between Peugeot's run of Sword Candy Floss and, although this is less accurate because it's between Kabu and Bia instead of like a more defined split of the two gyms. But Peugeot saves a minute and 40 seconds on just that split. Um, Melanie, like I said before, is like pretty much a wash because Lapras is like, I think, as easy to deal with as Colossal. Um, and then it's just like icy winds are kind of annoying, so maybe it's a little bit worse. No, grassy terrain's up. I think you Dynamax actually. So maybe, yeah, I guess that is pretty bad. Yeah, very interesting. I'm learning a lot about the Shield Candy Floss route.
Learning a lot of, I guess.
All right, I think that's all for this route, but yeah, it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit slower, that's for sure. So this kind of time is very good.
Mhm. So yeah, that's
So
it for pretty much the big notable runs. We do have a few honorable mentions that we'll talk about a bit more in depth than usual, I guess, because they have, I think, better quality than usual, and also um, we have the time to fill. So here we have Mariri 6. Um, he got a 159.05 in SAF glitchless, which is 10th place. He actually has the Japanese glitchless record himself. I think like a 153.
mm,
And I looked through this run, and it does seem to be he looks pretty good at Sapphire. And that's to be expected for a sub 2 run. Um, it it's the run starts with a 158.32 sum best, and he ends up getting like a run that's
30
almost
seconds off
30
that.
seconds behind. So
Yeah,
he has a lot to go pretty much. And like that another good SAF runner, pretty much.
his BPT is better at this point. That's not supposed to happen.
Well, yeah, a lot of gold potential that he's
Hmm.
just cashing in on. I guess he hasn't been here in those 21 attempts. But
Oh, I just noticed he has like a zoomed in thing on the HP bar
yeah,
for making
I
decisions.
did notice that you can like tell to the pixel what HP bar, because in SAF there's a lot of like reading HP bars and then like
Yeah,
going for ranges or not.
especially for like the brawly fight, it's incredibly important to know exactly what the HP bar is. It's a
Yeah.
lot of approximation. This is like a very like scientific way of doing it, which is really cool.
Yeah, I believe there's like 48 pixels, and you can tell like which one exactly. It's
Yeah,
kind of cut off right here, but like he has it numbered, so yeah, I think he can pretty quickly deduce what to do.
yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty much loses time. Well, the start from Roxanne to Norman is pretty decent. Nothing was too crazy. I think he missed a mud shot on Norman's Vigoroth, but like, and then it's just like it's pretty decent throughout. Like, not crazy luck. Um, he misses on Swella. I think he missed on Mount Pyre one time. So yeah, this split wasn't the greatest. I think his TNO was like okay, and his Archie 2 was slow. He didn't have Torrent. Yeah, I mean he does all the things that a good Sapphire runner does, like all the run to bikes and YOLO balls Kyogre. He even hit mild in this run, which is probably the best.
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's probably gonna get a good run soon, and maybe some people will be surprised, but we won't be surprised.
Yeah, we know. We were there. Kind of reminds me of that time when Ringo was running Emerald and he just got like a 231 and kind of no one was really expecting it because no one really watched the streams.
Yeah, that's the thing with like a Japanese runner doing English, like especially for early gens.
Yeah.
From what I know, though, Maruri does stream all of his runs, so he's there. You can watch him. I think he's live right now.
Wow.
Yeah, good movement too. Like, yeah, he's definitely good. All right.
Oh, it's
Uh,
the same one.
Oh yeah, I have the correct link here. Yeah. Guy. He's currently doing Emerald Glitchless. This is his 231.50 PB, so small PB from what he's comparing to right now, but this is pretty much just like a placeholder because Pokia he's been grinding pretty hard for Emerald record, and he's been pacing quite a bit. This run in particular though, it's an optional and doesn't really get close to recording or anything, but still manages to PB despite that.
does seem like he loses a lot of time to Norman. I'm just noticing. It's about 30 seconds. Norman.
Yeah.
So probably not the greatest gym there either. That has a pretty large amount of volatility.
Mm-hmm.
We thought that he had hit two optionals and we're trying to find the second, but I think it is just one. And that was like a different run where he hit two optionals and was still on pace.
Yeah, I believe two separate times he hit two optionals and was still on PB pace. Which is
That run might have died to TNL. But yeah, he's just like so good.
Yeah,
You
he
just like
had a legitimately like 228 pace that died to RG2, which is like the last fight with Swampert.
yeah, that was a couple weeks ago. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last place you can realistically die besides missing the Ronda bike and Victory Road, which shouldn't really happen. But
Yeah. Poor guy's definitely very confident in his race section, so that one was definitely a huge blow.
mhm.
I think he said it was the worst lost run of his career.
He did say that.
So just to give you an idea, like a 228 in Emerald happening would be just insane. I mean, it only makes sense that Pogia is able to do that. Yeah, Emerald's definitely a very hard game, but it's able to see good runs pretty much all the time. With we also have Amoeba, so somehow Amoeba is you know able to just drop a run and not
Yeah,
really say anything. But
yeah,
this is a 230-43. Finally gets a 230. I believe his old PB was like very old, and he got very he had been very fed up with it for a while because like he like at the time the run was good, but over time people kept beating him. But yeah,
yeah.
this
3 years ago,
is a really good showing.
it's mid to early 2021 was his 231.
Yeah.
So yeah, he basically just like came out of nowhere. He'd kind of been absent for the last 5 to 6 months. He just like posted this in his Discord, and we haven't really heard from him since either.
Well,
So,
well, he didn't post it, but somebody else did. Somebody else that just noticed that it was uploaded to his YouTube.
oh,
He's still not like back on Discord or Twitch. Yeah, that's where that's at. But yeah, in a 230 Emerald run, not really much you can find that goes wrong.
yeah,
All right. I think the last run we have here is my White 2 any% run. This is a 310-12, so very close to 309. I think it's fourth place. I my White 2 arc has been kind of really interesting actually. Right, my first pace was a just an incredible run in terms of like what you need for luck to get a 309, and it was actually like going to be a 309 if I had flinched Marshall one time, but I ended up not getting any, so the 309 run died. Um, it also would have been like third place by like a few seconds, so I'm sort of just like motivated by that death. Um, that run that I had lost was a real eye opener for what I could get in White 2. But anyways, I still kept playing, and I actually got a 310-49 first about a week after I lost the 309, and then this run happened like a few days after that. Um, but yeah, pretty much the reason why I'm able to PB is because of the route change that happened over the last year, where we manipulate the hidden grotto to get us a rare candy, and we get to skip the slow 3 clowns in Castelia. Overall, the route saves about 25 seconds, and it's also like a bit safer on Charles, like very marginally, but also a decent amount riskier on Rude. It's also safer on Berg because you don't have to switch in Drilbur that many times. But also on pretty much every run that needs to, which is like 99% of runs that I'll get, I have opted to do a Himalaya skip. Well, call it Himalaya skip, but we probably shouldn't really call it Himalaya skip because you go to Himalaya and you skip Driftveil. But yeah, it's like a strat where if you go to a Pokemon Center in the late game rather than like doing it at Driftveil, then you have to change up your shops quite a bit, and by doing that, you're able to deposit your Pidove from your party after using Fly for the last time, and you get to skip pretty much like ever killing it off in the double, and not seeing it in Hall of Fame as well, which saves about 5 seconds there. Overall, that strat saves 15 seconds, but the caveat is that you have to live through Marshall, and to do that, you pretty much need to get a flinch. So you have 3 opportunities to do that, and there's also like other things that can happen that also work, like creating or Conkelder, or maybe we should go to the point where I fight Marshall in this run to demonstrate one of the other cases that happened.
Where is that? That's like 2:45 maybe? No, a bit later than that.
It's like 3:05. Is Iron here? But yeah,
Sorry, where did you want to go? 305?
304, 304:30, I think. But yeah, at this point I was behind on my targets, but if I had gotten like a really good Marshall, like and pretty much I need an exceptional Marshall, like a 2 out of 3, then I would be on pace. But I missed the throw. I missed the throw flinch, I should say, and pretty much a different thing that we do, just like introduce more chances to win this fight and get the one flinch that we need, is we don't sack the last HM friend anymore, and we just attack Mienshao. The only thing that can work out by doing that is Mienshao goes for high jump kick and it misses, which is like 10% to happen. And that is what I end up getting. And then I also flinched the Conkelder. So now I'm able to actually win the fight. Yeah, not having an extra HM friend here pretty much requires you to only be able to die 1 time.
So after the bulldoze, you needed to either get what you got on
stack
Mienshao.
or or get a high jump kick miss.
So you would have either needed flinch plus high jump kick miss or 2 flinches in the scenario.
No, I needed to. The thing with sacking is that you can't do it with this strat.
Yeah,
If you sack, then you aren't able to max revive. But if you just go into Mienshao, then you are able to max revive, and then you can live like a sock break.
Okay, so you just need 1.
Yeah. You're able to live an attack if you max survive, but not if you don't. So that's why you can't like sack an HM friend. If you have two, then you can, and then like you just max survive the second time that you die.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you like effectively always win the fight with 2 extra mons?
Almost always the case where you don't win is not flinching and then also missing rock slide on Sock.
Okay. Okay.
Which is, by the way, my run where I lost the 309 got a flinch on Conkelder, but then it missed the rock slide on Sock. So even though I had got the flinch, I didn't tap in the fight, and it really sucked. I lost it that way. Sometimes you forget that,
Mm-hmm.
have to hit that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason that I pretty much didn't get a 309 here was because I think if I had, I don't know, maybe if I had flinched Sock instead of Conkelder, then I would have been at full HP. Heading into Iris, and that would have saved me a heal. So, which one you flinch in some scenarios do matter a lot. I actually think it wouldn't have been a 309 now that I think about it. It would have been like a 31002 or something. But it got pretty close. Another thing that I totally forgot. Another thing that I did in this run, I opted to do another end game strat that's like probably the riskiest thing you can do, which is unequipping Lucky Egg after Cricket 2. What that does is it saves a bunch of time with less level ups and some text. I think it in aggregate can save you like 22 seconds. So I did that on this run. The thing is you have to heal before Iris, and you also are fairly decently likely to not be able to live Iris if you get like a maybe I think it's like a 4 and 16 or a 6 and 16 depending on what EXP you get from High Dragon. And then like that's only to be able to see Dragon Dance on Haxorus, because like you're pretty much always going to die if it chooses Earthquake, but it's a matter of getting to an HP where it doesn't always go for Earthquake, because in Gen 5 it needs to see a guaranteed kill to go for a killing move all the time. So you need to be able to like live at least a mineral Earthquake, which I ended up getting the perfect HP. It's like the minimum that I needed to live the Iris fight, but I flinched the Haxorus anyway, so yeah. Yeah, this run is pretty close to what I need. But since this run I've sort of been having a bit of hand pain issues, but I think now I'm able to do runs again. So yeah, I'll try to get that 309 now.
Congrats to Tucker.
Yay.
And so that's the last honorable mention we have today. So we can go over some we have a couple marathons coming up. We have Leaf doing Fire the Green any percent glitchless for Pixels for People 2024. And that's tomorrow at 5:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's the Ultimate Speedrunning Championship, where Torunite is doing TCG, any percent glitchless. And that's October 11th, which is next Friday, at 12:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is all we have. So also, yeah. The next round, the technically it's the second round, but I think it's called the first round because the other one was like a seeding round or whatever. That round is starting in 2 hours. The first race is 3 p.m. between Araya, good at being simple and crafted, on Red Race TV, twitch.redrace TV.
That's a
I'll do the
crazy race. Yeah. Round two is really, really hype if you do a Swiss format. So it's actually going to be really exciting to see.
Yeah, Araya's simple crafted is basically like some of the top all you could consider them all top contenders to win the tournament. And this is round two, so yeah, exciting stuff. So tune in there in 2 hours for that, and then there's another one in 5 hours at 6 p.m. between Huangbro, Primal Pizza, and Ujita, which is another good race. And I think that's all we have for you this month. So make sure to. I don't know if I know the commands. Is it? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, follow the hosts, myself, Iron, and Tucker, and we don't have any guests this month, but we should have one next month, hopefully. Hopefully some more interesting stuff happens that we can cover next month. We can talk about the Red Tournament a little bit more, obviously. And also, we have a Twitter, yeah. Follow us on Twitter. We should be posting every month about the podcast when it happens.
Wait, I have
So,
bad news. Oh no.
oh,
The streak is broken. Oh no.
well, we forgot this month, but generally we should be posting.
Yeah.
And
If I
so
do
if
my
you,
job correctly, then it'll be posted before the podcast every time.
so yeah, we just if you wanna stay tuned for all the podcasts, fun, hype stuff, then follow us there. Otherwise, we should be back next month on what it'll be. It's the 9th, right?
Yeah, I'll be away on the second. So
Oh
unless we do
yes.
async, then otherwise it'll be on the 9th.
So yeah, November 9th, second Saturday in November. We should be live then. So stay tuned for that. And until then, I think that's it. Anything else anyone wants to say?
I'm all
Nope.
good here.
All right. Catch you guys next time then.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye everyone.